She made me eat a sandwich off the bathroom floor, while everyone watched. The laughter. The phone's recording. The way she curtsied afterward like she'd won some kind of prize. My name is Aria West, and I was 14 years old when my freshman year turned into a living nightmare. The one who made it hell? Madison Hart. Queen of the senior class. Cheer captain. Ivy League-bound legacy student with a smile that could fool anyone. I never told anyone what she did to me, not at first. I was too scared. Too ashamed. Too convinced that no one would believe me over her. But then I decided to tell everyone. In the worst possible way for her. And by the time I was done, Madison had lost everything. Her scholarship. Her reputation. Her power. Her future. Because if there's one thing Madison forgot when she was busy destroying me, it was this: freshmen grow up. And some of us? We remember everything. Every insult. Every humiliation. Every cruel laugh. And we wait for the perfect moment to make things right. I entered high school excited but terrified. My dad had died the year before from cancer, and I was still trying to figure out how to exist in a world without him. School felt like the one place I could start fresh. Make new friends. Build a new life. On my first day, I met Madison in the hallway. She was a senior, tall and confident, wearing her cheer uniform. She smiled at me. "Hey. You're new, right? I'm Madison. If you need anything, just ask." I was so relieved. A senior being nice to a freshman? That never happened. "Thanks. I'm Aria. Cute name. See you around." For 2 weeks, Madison was friendly. She'd wave in the hallways. She'd compliment my outfits. She'd invite me to sit with her friends at lunch. I thought I'd gotten lucky. I thought I'd found a mentor. Then everything changed. I don't know what I did wrong. Maybe nothing. Maybe Madison just got bored and decided I'd make a good target. But the kindness disappeared overnight, replaced by something cruel and calculated. It started in gym class. We were playing volleyball, and I missed an easy shot. Normal freshman mistake. Madison, who wasn't even in my class, somehow showed up to watch. She started laughing loudly. "Oh my God, did you see that? The freshman can't even hit a ball." Her friends joined in. Soon half the gym was laughing at me. The next day, I found my locker vandalized. Someone had written "loser" across it in permanent marker. My books were on the floor, pages torn. I reported it to the principal's office. They said they'd investigate, but nothing ever came of it. Then the rumors started. Madison told people I'd cheated on a test. That I'd stolen from the lost and found. That I'd made up having a dead father for attention. None of it was true. But truth didn't matter when Madison Hart was the one talking. People believed her. Because she was popular. Because she was a senior. Because she was Madison. I tried to defend myself, but that only made things worse. The worst part was watching my friends drift away. They didn't want to be targeted too. "Sorry, Aria," my friend Sophie said one day at lunch. "But sitting with you is kind of social suicide right now. Maybe once things calm down?" Things didn't calm down. They got worse. Madison made a TikTok showing me slipping on spilled milk in the cafeteria. She'd set it up. I saw her friend pour the milk right before I walked through. The video went viral at school. Thousands of views. Comments calling me clumsy, stupid, pathetic. I reported it. Madison claimed it was just a funny accident she happened to film. No one believed me. My grades started dropping. I couldn't concentrate in class. I developed panic attacks every morning before school. My mom noticed but didn't understand. "High school is tough for everyone, sweetie. You just need to push through. But this wasn't normal high school tough. This was targeted harassment. And Madison was just getting started. I need to explain something about my dad. He died when I was 13, right before 8th grade ended. Pancreatic cancer. 6 months from diagnosis to death. He'd been my best friend. The person who understood me. Who made me feel safe. After he died, I felt lost. School became my refuge. A place where I could focus on something other than grief. When I started high school, I thought it would be a fresh start. A chance to rebuild myself. Madison destroyed that. She took the one safe space I had left and turned it into a war zone. She'd mock me in the hallways. Trip me on stairs. Spread lies about me to teachers. Once, she told a teacher I'd plagiarized an essay. I hadn't. But the teacher made me rewrite it anyway because Madison wouldn't lie about something like that. I started having nightmares. I'd wake up crying, remembering my dad, wishing he was there to protect me. My mom took me to a therapist. The therapist said I had anxiety and depression. She prescribed medication. But pills couldn't fix what Madison was doing to me. The breaking point came during a school trip to a nature reserve. Our class was supposed to hike a trail and study local wildlife. Madison wasn't even supposed to be there, it was a freshman field trip. But she volunteered as a senior helper. During the hike, she deliberately hung back with me. When we were far from the group, she pushed me off the trail into a muddy ditch. Oops. You're so clumsy, Aria. Then it started raining. Hard, cold rain. Madison told everyone I'd wandered off and gotten lost. By the time they found me, I was soaking wet, covered in mud, shivering uncontrollably. I ended up in the hospital with hypothermia. The school called my mom. The principal apologized for losing track of a student. Madison visited me in the hospital with flowers. I'm so sorry you got lost, she said sweetly in front of my mom and the nurse. We were all so worried. My mom thanked her. Said she was a good friend for caring. I wanted to scream. A substitute teacher noticed bruises on my arms one day. Madison had shoved me into a locker earlier that week. The teacher reported it to the school counselor. The counselor called me in for a meeting. Aria, are you being hurt at home? No. It's not my home. It's school. Madison Hart has been bullying me for months. The counselor looked skeptical. Madison? The student body president? Are you sure? Yes. She pushed me. She's been targeting me all year. That's a serious accusation. Do you have any proof? I didn't. Madison was always careful. She'd hurt me when no one was looking. She'd get her friends to do the dirty work so her hands stayed clean. The counselor talked to Madison. Madison cried and said she'd been nothing but kind to me. That I was making things up for attention. That she was worried about my mental health. The counselor believed her. I left that office feeling more alone than ever. Even adults wouldn't help me. That's when I realized, if I wanted justice, I'd have to get it myself. My opportunity came by accident. I was in the computer lab working on an assignment when I noticed someone had left their email open on a shared computer. It was Madison's school account. I should have logged out. Should have walked away. But I was so angry, so desperate for some way to fight back. I started reading her emails. What I found shocked me. Madison had been cheating on exams for months. She'd downloaded answer keys from hacked teacher accounts. She'd copied essays from online sources. More importantly, she'd been falsifying volunteer hours for her college applications. She claimed to volunteer at a homeless shelter 20 hours a week. The emails showed she'd never been there, she'd paid someone to sign off on fake timesheets. Madison's perfect grades, perfect record, perfect reputation? It was all built on lies. I wanted to report it immediately. But something told me to wait. To dig deeper. I created a fake email account and forwarded everything to myself. Then I logged out of Madison's account and acted like nothing had happened. Over the next few weeks, I kept checking Madison's email. She was careless, she never logged out properly, never changed her password. I found more evidence. Group chats where Madison and her friends mocked younger students. Photos taken in locker rooms without permission. Messages about cheating on standardized tests. There was even evidence of blackmail. Madison had threatened a teacher's aide, saying she'd report him for inappropriate behavior if he didn't give her advance copies of tests. The behavior never happened. Madison made it up as leverage. I copied everything. Screenshots, forwarded emails, downloaded attachments. I organized it all in a secure folder on my laptop. But I didn't act yet. I needed to be smart about this. If I went to the principal with this evidence, Madison would find a way to discredit me. She'd done it before. No, I needed something bigger. Something she couldn't deny or spin in her favor. I needed to be patient. I also found something that made me sick. Madison had been taking photos of me without my knowledge. Photos of me crying in the bathroom. Photos of me alone in the cafeteria. Photos with cruel captions like pathetic freshman and can't even make friends. She'd shared them in private group chats. Her friends had laughed and added their own mean comments. There were dozens of photos. Months of documentation of my misery, treated like entertainment. I saved every single one. Evidence of harassment. Evidence of stalking. Evidence that this wasn't just high school drama, this was systematic bullying. I started making a timeline. Every incident. Every email. Every photo. I documented when things happened, who was involved, and what evidence I had. I was building a case like a lawyer would. Because I knew that when I finally struck, I needed to destroy her completely. Half measures wouldn't work with Madison. She was too good at manipulating people, too skilled at playing the victim. No, I needed to make sure that when she fell, she'd never get back up. Meanwhile, I joined the school's tech club. I told everyone I was interested in computer science, which wasn't a lie. I'd always liked computers. But my real reason was learning how to handle digital evidence properly. How to preserve metadata. How to prove timestamps. How to make information stick. The tech club advisor, Mr. Palmer, was impressed with how quickly I learned. You have a real talent for this, Arya. Have you thought about studying computer science in college? Maybe, I said. But mostly I was thinking about using these skills to take down Madison. I practiced creating presentations. I learned how to export data in formats that couldn't be altered. I learned about chain of custody for digital evidence. If I was going to do this, I was going to do it right. Madison had no idea what was coming. She was too busy enjoying her senior year, planning her future at her dream Ivy League school. She'd been nominated for Student of the Year, an award that came with a scholarship and public recognition. I smiled and congratulated her when I heard. You totally deserve it, I said. She looked surprised that I was being nice. Thanks, Arya. That's sweet of you. Inside, I was counting down the days until I destroyed her. 3 months into my evidence gathering, I decided it was time to start phase 1. I created an anonymous Instagram account called Westfield Truth. I didn't post anything at first, just let it sit there, mysterious and waiting. Then, right before Madison's Student of the Year announcement, I posted the first piece of evidence. A screenshot of Madison's email about falsifying volunteer hours. No caption. Just the image. Within hours, students were sharing it. The comments section exploded with speculation. Is this real? OMG if Madison's been lying about volunteer work. Who runs this account? Madison saw it. She posted on her own Instagram, "Someone is spreading lies about me. Please don't believe fake screenshots. This is harassment." Her followers defended her. But some people were starting to doubt. I waited 3 days. Then I posted another screenshot. This time, it was Madison's group chat mocking a younger student with a disability. The comments turned nasty. People were angry. Madison tried damage control again. But now even some of her friends were questioning her. I was chipping away at her reputation, piece by piece. The school board launched an investigation after the second post. They called Madison in for questioning. Madison panicked. I could see it in her face when she came out of the principal's office. Her confidence was cracking. She tried to figure out who was behind Westfield Truth. She accused a rival student. She accused a teacher she'd had conflict with. She accused everyone except me. Because I was just Aria, the pathetic freshman she'd been tormenting all year. I couldn't possibly be smart enough or brave enough to fight back. That's what she thought. And that's why she never saw me coming. Madison's friends started distancing themselves. Not openly, they were too afraid of her, but I noticed them sitting farther away at lunch. Responding less to her messages. The cracks were showing. Meanwhile, I posted more evidence. Madison photoshopping her report card before sending it to colleges. Madison blackmailing the teacher's aide with false accusations. Each post got more attention than the last. The local news even picked up the story. Anonymous account exposes alleged cheating at Westfield High. The pressure was building. Madison tried to pin everything on another student, a girl named Casey who she'd had a fight with earlier that year. "It's obviously Casey," Madison told everyone. "She's been jealous of me forever. She probably hacked my accounts and faked all of this. But I'd been careful." The metadata on every screenshot showed they were taken in real time, not manipulated later. Tech-savvy students started pointing this out. These aren't faked. The timestamps are legitimate. Madison's story wasn't holding up. Then I dropped the biggest bomb yet. I found a flash drive in the school library. I turned it in to the principal's office, saying someone must have lost it. The flash drive contained video footage. The bathroom incident where Madison made me eat a sandwich off the floor. One of her friends had recorded it. Madison had kept a copy on her school cloud account. She'd been planning to post it but decided it was too obviously cruel. I'd found it weeks ago. Now I was letting the school discover it themselves. The principal watched the video. Her face went pale. Within an hour, Madison was called into the office again. The video went viral overnight. Someone in the principal's office leaked it, probably deliberately. Students shared it. Parents saw it. Local news covered it. By morning, everyone in town knew what Madison Hart had done. The video showed everything. Madison pushing me to the ground. Her friends laughing. Madison throwing food at me and making me eat it while they recorded. My face was visible. Madison's face was visible. There was no denying what had happened. The school board held an emergency meeting. Parents demanded action. Teachers who defended Madison looked sick. Madison's Ivy League university called the school asking for clarification. They'd seen the video. They were concerned about the character of their admitted students. Madison tried to apologize. She posted a tearful video online. "I made a terrible mistake. I was dealing with stress and took it out on someone who didn't deserve it. I'm deeply sorry." But the comments destroyed her. "You tortured that girl for months. This isn't a mistake. This is who you are. You only apologized because you got caught." No one believed her remorse. The Ivy League university withdrew her early admission. The letter arrived 3 days after the video went viral. We hold our students to the highest standards of character and integrity. Given recent events, we are rescinding your acceptance. Madison's Dream School. Gone. Then the scholarship committee announced they were revoking her Student of the Year scholarship. We cannot award this honor to someone who is engaged in bullying and academic dishonesty. Her full-ride scholarship. Gone. Madison posted another apology video. This one was more desperate, more emotional. She cried about how she'd learned her lesson. How she wanted to make things right. But it was too late. The damage was done. I watched all of this unfold from a distance. I didn't gloat. I didn't celebrate publicly. But inside, I felt something I hadn't felt in months. Relief. Justice. Madison had spent all year destroying me. Now she was experiencing what it felt like to lose everything. The principal called me into her office. I went in nervous, wondering if somehow they'd traced everything back to me. But instead, she looked at me with something like guilt. Aria, I owe you an apology. I saw the video. I know what Madison did to you. And I know you tried to tell us earlier this year. I stayed quiet. I should have believed you. I should have investigated properly. I failed you as an educator. I could have been angry. Could have yelled about how they'd let Madison torture me for months. But I'd already won. Thank you for saying that, I said quietly. Madison is being suspended pending a full disciplinary review. We're looking into everything now, the cheating, the bullying, all of it. What will happen to her? The principal sighed. Based on what we've found, I expect she'll be expelled. She violated multiple sections of our code of conduct. The evidence is overwhelming. I nodded. That's exactly what I'd wanted to hear. Madison was officially expelled 2 weeks later. The school board held a hearing and reviewed all the evidence. The cheating. The falsified volunteer hours. The harassment. The photos taken without consent. The blackmail. It wasn't just about what she'd done to me. It was about a pattern of behavior that showed she'd been manipulating systems for years. The decision was unanimous. Madison Hart was no longer a student at Westfield High. Her former friends abandoned her immediately. They deleted photos with her. Unfollowed her on social media. Acted like they'd never been close. That's what happens when you build relationships based on fear instead of friendship. Madison tried to transfer to another school, but word had spread. No private school would take her with her record. She ended up enrolling in online classes to finish her senior year. Her college plans were ruined. Her reputation was destroyed. Her future was uncertain. Everything she'd worked for, gone. And I felt no guilt. Because she'd tried to do the same thing to me. Meanwhile, something unexpected happened to me. A Women in Tech Foundation reached out after reading about the case in the news. They'd been impressed by how I'd documented evidence and fought back against bullying using technology. We'd like to offer you a scholarship, the director told me on the phone. Full tuition to any college that accepts you, plus mentorship in the tech field. I couldn't believe it. Why me? Because you showed courage and intelligence. You didn't just survive bullying, you fought back smartly and effectively. That's exactly the kind of young woman we want to support. The scholarship was worth over $200,000. It would cover my entire college education. I'd lost so much my freshman year. My confidence. My mental health. My sense of safety. But I'd gained something too. Strength. Resilience. The knowledge that I could survive the worst someone could throw at me and come out stronger. Teachers who'd ignored me before started treating me with respect. Students who'd laughed at me apologized. I didn't forgive everyone. Some wounds don't heal that easily. But I moved forward. The school year ended. Summer arrived. I spent it in therapy, working through everything that had happened. My therapist helped me understand that what I'd done wasn't revenge, it was justice. There's a difference. Revenge is about hurting someone because they hurt you, she explained. Justice is about accountability and consequences. You didn't make up lies about Madison. You simply exposed the truth. That distinction mattered to me. I also started preparing for sophomore year. I joined student government. I volunteered with an anti-bullying organization. I focused on rebuilding my life. Madison tried to reach out once over the summer. She sent me a long message apologizing and asking if we could talk. I blocked her without responding. She didn't deserve my forgiveness or my time. By the time sophomore year started, I was a different person than the scared freshman who'd walked through those doors a year ago. I was stronger, smarter, braver. And I was ready to reclaim the high school experience Madison had stolen from me. Sophomore year started with an assembly about bullying. The principal announced new policies, new reporting procedures, new training for teachers. We failed some students last year, she said, looking directly at me in the audience. That won't happen again. Students clapped. Some looked at me. I sat quietly, accepting the acknowledgement without needing applause. Madison's name was never mentioned, but everyone knew who they were talking about. I made new friends that year. Real friends who liked me for who I was, not because they were afraid to be seen with me. I joined the debate team. I started a coding club for younger students. I got straight A's. Life wasn't perfect. I still had bad days. Still had moments where I remembered Madison's cruelty and felt that old fear creep back. But those moments got shorter. Less frequent. Less powerful. I was healing. And I was thriving in ways I never could have imagined during those dark freshman months. My junior year, I was elected student body president. The same position Madison had held. I ran on a platform of student safety and mental health support. I won by a landslide. On my first day in the position, I implemented new policies. Anonymous bullying reporting. Mandatory bystander intervention training. Support groups for victims. Everything I wished had existed when Madison was tormenting me. I also started a scholarship fund for students who'd overcome bullying. I used some of the money from my tech scholarship to fund it. Everyone deserves a chance to rebuild, I said at the launch event. No one should have their education derailed by someone else's cruelty. Teachers praised the initiative. Students participated. Parents supported it. I was turning my pain into purpose. And somewhere out there, Madison was watching. I knew because she started posting vague things on social media about people who won't let you move on and cancel culture. I never responded. She wasn't worth my energy. Senior year arrived. The year I should have shared with Madison if things had been different. I was accepted to multiple colleges, including the Ivy League school that had rejected Madison. They offered me a full scholarship to study computer science. The same scholarship Madison had lost. I accepted it. Not to spite her, but because it was the best opportunity for my future. At graduation, I was chosen to give a speech. I stood at the podium looking at hundreds of faces, students, teachers, parents. 4 years ago, I walked into this school scared and alone. Someone tried to break me. They tried to make me believe I was worthless. They tried to destroy my future. I paused, looking at the audience. But they failed. Because no one else gets to define your worth. No one else gets to write your story. You do. People started clapping. Some were crying. If you're being bullied, speak up. Keep speaking up until someone listens. Document everything. Find your allies. And remember that surviving doesn't make you weak, it makes you strong. The standing ovation lasted 3 minutes. After graduation, I did something I'd been planning for months. I went back to the school bathroom where Madison had humiliated me. It was empty. Quiet. The same tiles, the same stalls, the same fluorescent lights. I walked to the stall where it had happened. Where I'd been pushed to the ground. Where I'd been forced to eat food off the floor while people laughed. For a moment, I felt 14 again. Scared and helpless. But then I remembered everything that came after. How I'd fought back. How I'd won. I pulled out a permanent marker from my bag. On the metal wall of the stall, I carved 3 words. I remembered everything. It wasn't vandalism. It was a memorial. A reminder that victims don't have to stay victims. I took a photo of the words. Posted it to my Instagram with a simple caption, "To everyone who survives, you're stronger than they'll ever be." The post got thousands of likes. Hundreds of messages from people sharing their own survival stories. I'd started freshman year as a victim. I was ending it as a survivor, and a voice for others. Years later, I ran into Madison at a coffee shop. She was working behind the counter, looking tired and older than her years. She saw me and froze. Aria. Madison. Awkward silence. Then she said, "I saw you graduated from that Ivy League school. Computer science, right?" "Yeah." "That's great." "Really?" She looked like she wanted to say more. Apologize again maybe. Ask for forgiveness. I didn't give her the chance. "Have a good day," I said, taking my coffee and walking out. Because I'd moved on. I'd built a life Madison couldn't touch. I had a degree from her dream school. I had a job at a top tech company. I had friends who loved me for who I was. Madison had tried to destroy me. Instead, she destroyed herself. And I'd risen from the ashes of freshman year stronger than I'd ever been. That night, I thought about everything that had happened. The pain. The fear. The fight. The victory. I thought about the scared 14-year-old girl who'd eaten a sandwich off a bathroom floor while people laughed. And I thought about the woman I'd become, confident, successful, unbreakable. Madison had made freshman year hell. But in trying to destroy me, she'd actually forced me to discover my own strength. I was grateful for that. Not grateful for the pain, but grateful for learning what I was capable of surviving. Because some lessons only come through fire. And I'd walked through the flames and come out forged in steel. Madison forgot something important when she decided to target me. Freshmen grow up. And the ones who survive the worst? We become unstoppable. I remembered everything. And I'd used those memories to build something better than revenge. I'd built justice. And then I'd built a life. A life Madison could never take from me again.